You're tuning in to Past Our Prime, a show powered by Squad Locker.
Let's be great. Let's be great.
Here are your hosts, retired Astros minor league star Tip Fairchild and former Patriots All-Pro center Dan Copen.
Go Rodgers thing, huh? Love you, man. Let's go get it.
All right, here we go. Episode 63, Past Our Prime, powered by Squad Locker. He's Tip. I'm Dan. We have Jean-Daniel Roussel.
JD.
JD's a lot easier, but
We'll get into where it came from.
Jean-Daniel.
Yeah, Jean-Daniel.
Jean-Daniel Roussel, and has an athletic background.
Yes.
You wouldn't know by looking at him that.
Yeah, no.
You know, he is
small.
First in-studio guest.
What are you, 5'10"?
5'11" on a good day.
All right, we'll give you 5'11".
I need that inch.
We'll give you 5'11". Okay. So he's in studio. We got an in-studio one. The reason he's in studio, we mentioned Squad Locker. Jean-Daniel works for Squad Locker now.
I don't think I'm going to call him anything else.
Yeah,
from now
we're just
on.
going to call him
I
Jean-Daniel.
actually was wondering. I was like, I wonder what JD actually stands for. And now Jean-Daniel.
And now we know.
Yeah. Okay. So
It's like he should be in like Les Miserables or something like that.
ooh, that's a
Great,
good.
right?
That's a great.
Do you like that movie?
It's a
I
great
love-
show.
And
It's a
book.
great. It was a great Broadway show.
Right.
I
Is it a
grew up
book?
listening to it.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like it.
I did. I could rattle off some songs.
The one I could
Hear people sing?
Master of the House, because George Costanza was doing it in Seinfeld.
Keeper of the Zoo, right, or something. Yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one.
All right. Well,
Okay, JD's here.
JD, excited?
I like having a
Super
guest in the
excited.
studio because now we're just.
He
like,
has no
shooting
idea
breeze.
what we're going to do.
No, I hardly have any idea what we're going to do half the time. So I did scribble down a few things, Max. A lot going on right now in football. That's why you're here. You're a football guy, played in college, did some pro stuff after, right? Still, I would say resident football gambling expert a little bit, which that's one topic.
Whoa, okay. Yeah,
That's one topic.
Definitely part of my life, for sure.
Okay, good. All right. So Aaron Rodgers news broke today, which is now 2 days late.
within the last hour.
Yep.
So we have breaking news, which it won't be breaking.
No, it's no longer breaking.
Aaron Rodgers and JD. This is good that JD's here because
Yeah.
JD is very knowledgeable. He's a great football player. That will be the last compliment.
Yeah, that's the last compliment today.
Thank you. That means a lot.
By the way, keep looking at the screen.
He was a great football player. He's a great dude. He actually, we'll get into some other stuff. But Aaron Rodgers is back in Green Bay. How do we feel about that? I feel like JD knows a lot about what we're going to talk about.
Well, he played football, and you
And
played
defensive back. So he's
with some
probably
Green Bay
seen
stuff,
some,
right?
Oh, I've seen some stuff.
Well,
All right.
didn't you do some things with Green Bay? Weren't you
yeah.
with Green Bay for a
Yep.
bit? Explain that first.
Absolutely. So, luckily enough, I was in rookie minicamp with the Green Bay Packers in 2015. Got to go.
Speaking of the
against-
mic,
excuse me.
So I
sorry.
can't wait to say this all the time.
Got to go against some great dudes, Ty Montgomery, to be specific. But yeah, A-Rod's a class guy. You know what I mean? He's definitely the leader of that team. I know the Green Bay community is super pumped to have him back.
Do you think they are?
I do.
Yeah.
Regardless what the media portrays of A-Rod,
Yeah.
the city knows how good he is.
You call him
Yeah,
A-Rod, huh?
do you call him A-Rod?
That's what they call him in the city, A-Rod.
Because that confuses me with a baseball
Yeah,
player.
I'm-
That
I'm
took a
not-
lot of
I'm
steroids.
not really- I'm thinking A-Rod.
It did too. The first time I heard it, I'm like, dude, you guys know there's already an Alex Rodriguez, but they own it with him, and I'm like, wow, that you guys put him on that pedestal that you don't even consider an A-Rod Alex Rodriguez anymore. A-Rod in Green Bay.
Okay. So $200 million, right?
4 years, $200 million, lowers the cap number. Now they got space to franchise tag Devontae Adams, right? Which is what he wants.
Only makes sense.
Correct. They got to get the number down. So the extension makes sense. And I get the fact that Green Bay fans are all about football. They are the nicest fans in the NFL. If you go there and you play well, they'll like pat you on the back
Are
on
they
the way
nice?
out.
Really?
They're great
So
fans.
nice.
They're great
Really?
fans.
So nice.
Okay.
And I want to
so
talk to you
I
about the
would- I
training
would've-
camp because they do the whole bike thing to practice, which is really cool
Oh,
tradition.
time out here. Explain this. Bike thing to practice?
Oh yeah, look, JD.
Okay, go ahead.
I've only
I'm
seen
ready.
pictures and I
Explain the
know
bike
about
thing.
it, but I have not experienced it like JD has.
So it's it's the first day training camp. They have all the kids come out. Parents are out there, and the Green Bay faithful is as faithful as I've ever seen it.
They all own a piece of the Packers,
Exactly.
technically, right?
They own a
Yep.
piece of the Packers. The city embraces the team. I mean, let's be real. That's their only professional team in that city. So they embrace those 8 games that they have at home every week. So like how Dan was mentioning, they allow all the kids to pick a bike or come with a bike, and then one of the players will ride that along the side of them. So it's encouraging kids to be more active. It's giving them that 2 or 3 minutes with that professional player to show them that they're just as regular as everybody else. And usually these big time players that are going to Green Bay are used to coming from Alabama, Boston colleges of the world, where it's like you don't really have that interaction with the fan base. But that fan base is so understanding and cool that you're not having the, hey, let me grab you for an autograph. They understand the procedure of how things go.
Well, there's no fans at Boston College, but yeah.
I was just going to say that's the last time. That's the last time Alabama and Boston College was mentioned in the same sentence. But thank you, JD.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
They're actually playing this year though, or next year. BC and Alabama.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Look at see, you know more
we'll
than I do.
We'll see. I mean, I'm excited.
Yikes!
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Shocked that one up with a loss.
Can we put Southern Maine on the schedule, please?
Yeah, please do. Yeah, no football there.
But yeah, so they embrace it, and it's a really a cool thing for the kids because they're smiling the whole time, and it's a really stressful day for your first day at camp, and for players to have that smile on their face. It's kind of an easy thing to kind of go into camp. And
so it's just the first day, or is it happens after that as well?
I believe. Well, I mean, let's be real. Lo and behold, I was only there for not too long, about a month myself before they gave me the cut.
Hey, by the way, we always say this. All of us in here have been fired.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Except Max.
Released. Yeah, Max. Released.
make it there, they get fired.
Released. That's
Right,
fine.
right.
That's fine. Castle released. Reed released. Mickey released.
And JD's been
McKellar
around.
Released.
Athletes usually get fired at one point.
You know what they say? NFL stands for not for long for most people.
That's right. That's right. So, with training camp, is it my imagination or training camp isn't always in the same area as the stadium? Didn't it used to didn't people used to go to a different area to have training camp?
It's some areas still have that. Well, they'll go to a college or something around, maybe not necessarily in their complex.
They won't use their own complex.
Like
and
Chicago
facilities?
went other places, Green Bay went other places, New England went to Bryant, Dallas went to L.A.
But that's not a thing anymore.
No, it's still a thing.
Is a thing?
They still will travel sometimes for training camp.
Because what was the movie? Invincible? Yeah. Popeye, whatever.
Yeah, with Wahlberg.
Like they went to a place. They were in Philly, but they went to like a high school field. I know it was a movie.
The Eagles, I want to say, moved their training camp into Philly at their complex, but for a number of years, they were at Lehigh University.
Why did people do that? They wanted to get away. Hey, we're staying in dorms. We're going old school here. Was that the theory? Is that the concept?
Well, I don't think. Again, the infrastructure for those complexes have built up over
so
the
they
years,
have
so they can handle that now. But some places like Green Bay or whatever, maybe they don't have enough hotel rooms or they don't have enough lodging or enough fields. But I would assume nowadays most of the NFL teams could do it. But the fans still like when they travel to those training camp sites.
Okay, all right. Well, there's that piece. We'll come back to more NFL free agency.
But just with Rodgers though, with those fans. What's the most important position on the field, JD?
Quarterback.
No doubt, right?
No doubt.
So the fact that Aaron Rodgers is staying, he's the top quarterback, MVP of last year, right? Again, 2 years in a row. Why wouldn't they be excited?
Well, pumped. I mean, this year, really, our 12 should have won.
Oh, see, I mean, let him.
Right?
Who should have won?
The right team won.
No, not the team.
Oh God!
I'm talking MVP.
Come on, we know
MVP
we know he's a
12.
Rams fan. We can get into that. It's fine.
What?
You're a Rams fan.
You guys opened up the floodgates, and I'm gonna state my piece for my guy, Cooper Kupp, MVP this season. I'm sorry, he should have been.
Yeah, he was excellent.
Triple crown. I mean, name another guy you've seen.
Plus his story.
And the story. I mean, the story alone. But
he was on my fantasy team too.
Like Dan said,
he was.
Oh yeah,
that's a good year.
Like Dan said, I am a little biased. But I do have the numbers behind it.
But you would? Do you admit LA Ram fans are kind of shitty?
Yeah, I mean the parade.
You're real. I mean, your base.
The parade is basically what Bald Hill Road looks like.
Your base isn't at home basically, and you guys rely on winning. If you're winning, it's a great fan base.
I think it was a transition for a lot of people, coming from St. Louis to LA, and then now there's a lot of teams in LA where now a lot of people have options.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So. It is what it is.
Are you a Lakers fan too?
No, I'm not. I'm everything New England, but football.
How did? Yeah, well, I mean, so were you a
stories.
St. Louis Rams fan?
I was.
Why?
I was.
Oh,
So, first started watching football in '98. Greatest show on turf. I'm like, all
Rocket,
right.
Rocket Ismail.
Rocket
was it?
Ismail,
Yeah.
Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, Torrey
Yep.
Holt, Marshall Falk,
Yeah.
Adam Archer. I could literally
Fast.
run.
whoa. Was Rocket Ishmael on the Rams? No.
The Ishmael brothers were. There was like
Were they?
three of them.
They weren't stars, that's for sure.
They were.
I don't think they were
I
stars.
don't think they were on the Rams. Though.
Somebody was.
Quadri?
One of them was. I'm sure.
I don't know if
check.
Rocket. Yeah,
Max will look.
I don't think
Max will
Ishmael.
fact
I don't think Ishmael
right.
was on the Rams. Was he?
I'm right. Max doesn't know this. It's Ishmael. Max, not
He's also from Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. So
I don't know if Max is gonna be able to spell this correctly. He'll work on it. JD. Don't worry. That's why we got the stat man over there.
Love that.
Let's talk about another quarterback though, Russell Wilson. This just came across the wire. Traded?
our squad locker wire.
Yeah, traded to the Broncos.
Traded to the Broncos.
What did that trade look like? Picks?
It will be multiple first rounders, and I want to say players also.
Oh, wow.
Is what they said. I don't think they've released the details yet. What's your scouting report on Russell Wilson?
Winner.
Throws a great deep ball.
Throws a great deep ball. Short. Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth.
All right. Small hands.
Small hands. Beats the odds.
Dork.
Leader.
Okay. All right. That's a good word.
Leader. Definitely leader.
Yep. Well, a real leader would have
Does-
said, "Hey, listen, Pete Carroll, I'm going to hand this ball off to Marshawn Lynch, and not throw a pass here." A real leader would have done that.
True.
Coach,
I mean,
timeout.
I hear
I
you.
don't agree with this play. Let's just punch this in with the best back in the game, right?
I hear you. I can't say I have any explanation for why that was,
Mm-hmm.
besides a great play by Malcolm Butler. I'm going to give him all that.
NFL's probably rigged too.
As a
but-
DB, yeah, maybe. But as a DB, I got to give the credit to Malcolm Butler.
Okay. All right.
Because it's a great route concept.
So do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like Russell Wilson in the Broncos system? Like, is that something that's going to be interesting to watch? Are people in Denver excited? Like people in Green Bay are excited?
I'm very interested in knowing how the receivers come back with them. Because a quarterback without any receivers, unless you're Tom Brady, it's going to be tough for you. Mm-hmm. So they have Cortland Sutton and they have Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy came off an injury 2 years ago, kind of had a year this year. Cortland Sutton came off an ACL injury last year. Mm-hmm. Russell Wilson goes how they go. Because those are two talented receivers.
Yep.
They have a talented tight end in Noah Fant. So they have the good nucleus. They have the running backs with
the dude
Melvin
for,
Ingram.
yeah, the dude for is Ingram or no Gordon.
Gordon, that's what it was.
Gordon, and I don't know if he's still under
Anderson?
contract, but no, Anderson's gone. It's the rookie from North Carolina last year who
Good player.
really good player. Split time with Gordon early on, and then really turned it on at the end of the season. Is able to catch the ball out of the backfield too. So they definitely have some good skill positions. It's a good upgrade for him offensive line wise. Because I mean that's the thing that Russell Wilson was bitching about for years in Seattle. Just taking hits, sacks, and all that. And
Well, and
you would see his
relatively.
legs.
Would you say he's relatively healthy? Has stayed relatively healthy through his career?
For his size, yeah.
I mean, because he scrambles all over the place. I always feel like
small.
those quarterbacks get like rocked.
He's small too.
Yeah.
yeah, but he's built pretty. I mean, he's thick. He's not skinny like Tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skinny? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Appreciate that. And we're all black today. Slim it out.
And JD wore a jean jacket for you.
I know. Yeah. We did talk about that.
All right, so I got so Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut. Right, you go there.
No, let's go back further than that.
Okay, let's go.
yeah.
Well, do you want to start there and then work backwards?
You,
Well, because I was going to say Jean-Daniel. I mean, that's not a common name.
Right. Where'd it
So,
come from?
yeah, where are you from?
So I was born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
Port-au-Prince.
Yep. Moved to the United States at 3 years old.
Okay.
Moved to Atlanta. You know, growing up playing football, I was like, Mom, why didn't we just stay in Atlanta? I would have
Hotlanta.
I would have went to UG or something. We would have figured it out. But moved to Rhode Island around the age of 5, 6. Started in Central Falls, navigated to Pawtucket. Really kind of grew up as a young adult. Through the Pawtucket school system, Central Falls school system. Went to St. Ray's. Then from there, the finding of the college to play football at is a process. You know what I mean? It's not just, hey, they love you. And you know what I mean? Coming out of the state of Rhode Island, they don't ever love you that much. They like you a little bit, but it's like a lukewarm kind of thing where it's like, hey, you're a great player, but look who you're playing against. Look at the state you're playing against. And I took pride in that. I took ownership of it. And then from there, kind of a sticky situation where I got offered a full scholarship to Northeastern. In my beginning of my senior year, they dropped their football program.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I knew some people who went to Northeastern, but I haven't heard of Northeastern football in a while.
They dropped their football program, so it was tough because I was getting
everybody else already has all their offers out.
Right. And then like even the schools that were contacting me prior to Northeastern, I was like, hey, unless you're a 1A, a Boston College, anywhere where I'm playing a higher division, I'm going to go to Northeastern for the education because I'm still going to be playing at the most competitive 1AA conference.
Yep.
So it's tough because you have to call them back like, hey, I'm sorry about, saying no before, but you guys still got a spot for me.
Yep.
And, 99% of those called and ended with a hang up. And I was just like, dude, do I even still want to play college football? Do I just want to go to TD program through URI and just, be a student for a little bit? But the hunger and the drive was there. And I was like, dude, even if I have to go D2.
Then what position?
Corner
all along. Never were a receiver?
High school for sure.
Okay, so you can't catch then. That's what that means?
The other people on my team couldn't
Isn't
catch.
that the rule?
The other people on my team couldn't catch. So
No, what I mean is the reason you're a corner
usually
is
the
because you're
rule
fast, but you can't catch.
Usually the rule is corners are receivers that can't catch.
Okay, that's
Usually
right.
the rule. So
that's what I say.
understand.
Lacrosse players are baseball players that can't hit a fastball.
Heard that.
There's
Heard that.
exceptions to every rule, though. JD's the exception.
I thank
Okay.
you.
All right, so you can catch a little bit? You got big hands?
So what was it? So you said Rhode
9.5.
Island.
I got small hands.
Yeah, you have small hands.
Yeah.
Rhode Island coming out, was the onus put more on you to get your name out there? I mean, you see, what was it? Not Hulu, but like a Huddle or whatever, right? So were your coaches helping out there, or was it more on you?
So it was really on my mom and I's effort to get to the camps, to get my name out there.
Because you couldn't do it during the high school season.
Okay.
You needed the. No, I mean that in a positive way. The high school season, there wasn't as much exposure. So did you have to get to places to then be seen? Is that how it works?
It was that mixed with the level of talent that I was going against.
Got it.
Presumed by the viewer.
Yep. Okay.
If you're running by a corner in the first 15 yards, either you should be running by him at like 25, 30.
Got it.
So over scouting, under scouting, who knows? But, I definitely had that chip on my shoulder. And I almost felt like after my wave of like kids kind of going under the radar, they started taking chances on kids from Rhode Island.
Yep.
A Quiddy Pay.
Yeah.
Patrick Onya. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and before you, there was Will Blackman, who's a guest on the show.
Absolutely.
Friend of the show. I know, I'm not from Rhode Island originally, but knowing some names down here.
Mike
and
Cloud.
You're the same, right?
Mike Cloud went to BC out of Portsmouth. Blackman, couple of Hendrick and other kids.
Yeah, but
like
even
the linemen and all that stuff.
Even overall sports, right? You got football's one thing. Baseball, you got Baldelli was a big name, obviously. And then now is currently Mike King. There's baseball players. There's some, but you go to Maine. There's not a lot of Maine football players that I know, that played high school football in Maine that turned into an NFL player. There's some people, but I feel like Rhode Island has more. I guess it's just more population. I guess, but so my goal is to make him cry.
Oh, not going to happen, but I love it.
Let's try.
I love it.
No, I'm kidding.
Go for it.
I actually have no interviewing skills to try that. So you do. So you go St. Ray's. Is that a public school or private school?
Private Catholic
private
school.
Private Catholic in Pawtucket.
In Pawtucket.
All right. Good football program.
Decent.
Okay. Decent enough to get
highest level though, Division I.
Yep. Decent enough to get some looks. Go to some camps. You said you and your mom, that was put on you guys. There wasn't as much. Like you said, Huddle. What are all the new things? NECS, whatever. None of that was probably just coming along when you were there.
It's just coming. It's funny. I still had to make my highlight tape through my school librarian.
Was it on a VHS or was it?
It was
on a
actually
CD?
on a CD.
Okay, so that's new age.
It's funny because we're talking about Huddle and DV Sport is another one where it's technologies now where you can stop by clip where it records the whole clip. There, you're like, hey, duration 1 minute, 11 second, whatever it is at the end. It's like you have to stop it specifically. It's just a running tape.
Yep. So your high school librarian helped get you to where you are.
He sure did.
What's that librarian's name? Do you know?
Mr. Dickovitz.
All right, we'll make sure we tag Mr. Dickovitz.
Mr. Dickovitz and his daughter. His daughter was in my class, Emily Dickovitz.
Emily Dickovitz.
Emily Dickovitz. Yep.
Okay. All right, so we'll make sure we tag Emily as well. You know, this is how you get the viewers.
This is how it goes.
Okay, so that happens. You get through, somebody likes you, doesn't work out Northeastern thing. You go to, say, what am I looking at? What's our jersey?
Yep.
Sacred Heart, what's Pioneers?
Pioneers.
Okay, and you were there, 4 years?
I was there 5 years. I redshirted my first year.
Redshirted your first year. How were the grades? Were the grades good?
It's a transition.
Yeah.
It's a trend, but just like football, chip on your shoulder.
Okay.
I came there for a reason. And at that point, it wasn't, hey, I got to make it in football. It's more like, hey, I better get this degree because me and my mom have been through hell and back to like even be at this. You know what I mean?
Yep. Love that.
There was a lot of that. A lot of that.
So then, what's your career like at college football at Sacred Heart? And then where's Sacred Heart? Like, what's their conference? Where do they play?
Absolutely. So Sacred Heart's in the Northeast Conference.
Yep.
Play teams like St. Francis, PA, Duquesne.
Play Bryant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wagner.
Yep.
But it's in Fairfield, Connecticut. And the college career was,
tough area down there.
Fairfield, Connecticut is
not.
I was there. Not so much.
It's just the nicest county in the world. But yeah. Okay.
But started off like anything. Training wheels, learning how to be a college student, learning how to be a college athlete, learning how to have some responsibility underneath your belt without mommy telling you, hey, it's practice time, or, not having the structure. So, it started off as a red shirt, like, most college athletes do, where it's like you're spending that year learning. At the same time, too, staying focused on the goal at Matter, which is next year of playing, starting for the team.
Yep.
But it's a long year.
Now, were you full grown, do you think, when you got to school?
Oh, no.
Were you like one of these guys that grew into it when you got to college?
So height-wise, I was always the same height.
Yeah.
Built-wise, absolutely not. I was about 171 soaking wet.
Yeah. What are you now, 172?
I knew that was coming. I'm about 186 right now.
Okay.
But that's a lot for a smaller guy.
Well, it's Dan and I a weekend sometimes.
Yeah. I get it.
186, that's me in 7th grade.
I get it.
But I mean, from 172 to 186, it's just, we could do that on the weekend.
Oh, easy. Yeah. That's a good weekend.
I hear it 100%. But yeah, so it took some time with that too. And, in college, a lot of your peers and coaches have no filters. So like you really know what you need to improve on right away. They're going to let you know. You know what I mean?
That's part of being in the locker room. That's the whole name of this show.
Exactly.
Right?
It's part of being on a team. You got to be able to take it. You got to be able to dish it. And, you got to be able to, work with what you got. And my biggest, mentality thing is what you're not good at today, make it your best quality tomorrow. And you just keep doing it throughout life.
Yep.
And eventually, your things that you don't like, that you're not good at, it'll be things that you love to do, and it just kind of goes full circle.
What was your strength? What was your, not like strength like bench press or anything, but what was the thing that got you on the field initially? Was it smarts? Yeah. Was it instincts? Was it
resilience?
Were you fast? Were you a ball hawker?
Great. It was a mix of instinct and not being afraid to lose.
That's what I'm saying, like resilience. I mean, you said you went through it. Like you grew up in Haiti. You came here, right? You said you've been through hell and back, so it's a resilience thing. Right?
I just wasn't afraid to lose. Anybody I was going against, I made it that, you may make the catch on me, but it's going to be the highest, greatest of difficulty for you to make that catch. It better be a post corner, and I'm biting on the post, and you ran the corner. C'est la vie. You know what I mean? Great route.
Did you talk shit out there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
What was your favorite thing to do? Like, you'd be like, hey, your shoes untied?
Oh, no. It wasn't that easy. But, the older I got.
Did you figure out people's names and, like, get some history on them? Like, give them some? Or
the older I got, the better I obviously was. And, the trash talking got a little bit more in depth. So I remember, funny you ask, I remember playing against Assumption, which was like we were blowing them out. And, someone on the sideline was chirping me. And I'm like, dude, I'm not the one. Like, you don't want to chirp me. So nobody takes this. Nobody, please don't judge me for saying this. But I was like, hey, dude, after the game, bro, I'll sign this glove and you can just keep it. Like, don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Their whole sideline was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I'm the man, dude.
Oh, we got to work on your trash talk.
I really wasn't. But I think I heard that on Friday Night Lights or something, and I was like, yeah.
I'm more like a trash talker, like in the movie The Program. like Alvin Mack, where he's like, I'm going to cut you open.
Kill the quarterback. Kill everybody.
Yeah. leave, what's he say? Kill them all, let the paramedics sort them out.
Yeah, what are you doing this
just
front?
Clap. Yeah, I love that. Love that movie. Well, by the way, what's your favorite football movie? We should ask you this.
I do love The Blind Side.
Oh, wow.
I do.
Wow.
He might cry.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, you might cry.
Max, get the tears ready over there. He's going to go.
The accident scene gets me.
Oh, with the brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like the brother was like his biggest.
And he's sad. He's sitting on the
he
thing.
He made his highlight tape as a
he's
little
all cut
kid.
up.
Right.
Too. The big guy there. He's all cut up.
And then Sandra Bullock goes. I mean, the officer goes to Sandra Bullock. I don't know how your son's even alive. Not to mention joking with you.
Protective instincts.
Right, and then she puts the piece of the puzzle together and realized that his forearms broke because he stopped the airbag from. Yeah, that movie gets me. But you know,
we're gonna get him, Max. We're gonna get him. He's starting to get emotional.
But, yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but I don't think that would have picked that as number one.
I thought you might say Remember the Titans.
Oh, I love Remember the Titans.
Yeah,
love Remember the
good
Titans.
movie.
There's a lot of good football ones.
Yeah, there's good ones.
A lot of good football.
Not
ones.
The Replacements. That one's not great.
No,
I mean, it's a good movie.
Yeah,
Shane Falco. The
Yeah.
cheerleader in that movie too. What's her name? His love interest. Yeah.
If you pull that one out,
he
that's
showed some
amazing.
guts in that.
He did. He did show some guts in
in
that.
that. I like
Shane Falco. Okay, so you go Sacred Heart. We're talking through that. What was your degree in? I should know this probably. I did. So just a little background. JD works directly for me, and I did interview you. You were very gracious on the interview.
Very brief interview too, if I must add.
When I know, I know.
Oh yeah, and you told me that, and I was like, "This is where I belong." Dude.
When I know, I know. What about? I don't think I ever even looked at your resume. But, so how do you feel about paying all that money going to college? But what did you get your degree in?
Absolutely. So my undergrad was in marketing, and my master's was in communications.
You have your master's?
Do.
Should we be paying you more? You gotta earn your keep.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean,
Okay.
we want to do this.
I'm just making sure. I'm just checking.
Master's in communications.
But you said you had to work at being a student?
Yeah. Definitely had to work at being a student.
In terms of failing out, in terms of being like, I got to get my shit together a little bit, like to be able to be on the football field. I don't want to waste this opportunity, right? Like you said, like how'd that work?
Absolutely. So, it came to a time, especially in college where a lot of it's on your own. As in college, you have a guidance counselor that's like looking over your shoulder. You start falling behind. She reaches out to your mom. Now your mom's on your back. You see your mom every night. In college, you don't have that. And I'm sure we all know.
It's on you?
It's on me. I'm flunking out or I'm doing bad. I consciously know, but I could still go party that night. And I won't hear any reprimands till that semester ends and I go home and, when all hell breaks loose.
Yep.
So for me, it was learning how to study, learning how to be independent, learning how to grind alone, learning how to ask for help.
Yeah.
Especially, at a small school, a small Catholic school in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, where if I was falling behind, the football coach would be like, hey, dude, I need you for this Friday. Where in college,
I'll help you out.
If I'm falling behind, next man up.
Yeah.
That's right.
They're recruiting a corner right behind
Makes
me
sense.
out of Hoover, Alabama. I'm from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Believe me, they're not losing sleep.
Talent's not geographical, though. Don't get into the talent geographical thing.
Yeah, I feel you.
Good talent is everywhere.
Yeah, true.
There's just less good talent in certain areas.
Right.
Okay?
Right, exactly. So
It's a
the
lesson. Write that down.
the next man up mentality for sure was like hey, dude, like you've got to do everything you can do off the field to make sure that your production on the field equals together. And like those coaches are just like, hey, this has to be our guy.
Gotcha. I have a question for Dan.
For me?
Yes.
What?
Did you fail any classes at BC?
Yes.
I don't know the answer. I'm just wondering if you did.
I did.
Because I was going to ask JD, but I wanted to ask Dan
Yes,
first.
I did.
What was the class?
I have no idea what the class was. So at BC, they basically, it's not mandatory, but they want you to graduate in 4 years, right? So
it makes sense.
I was like JD. I redshirted my freshman year, so I had 4 or 5 years to play, 4 years, but I graduated in 4. Didn't fail any classes there. So the fifth
failed,
year,
like, ballroom
the
dancing?
fifth year, I went into the grad school, and there were night classes, and probably a few weeks into the semester, I figured out I wasn't going to come back for that second semester. And the grades didn't really matter for my season.
You actually didn't need to do any grade. You didn't need to do anything that semester.
I did do some things in a few of the classes that I had, and then unfortunately in one of the class, me and my roommate just decided not to show up most of the year, and I don't even think we showed up for the final.
Yeah, that's good. That'll get you.
And we did not pass that class, so that's not a good lesson to those out there. But I wasn't going back. I was going away to work out and get ready for the combine and get ready
that's
for that.
extra. Those were all.
But JD figured it out earlier. I kind of wish, and we've talked about this. It's one of those regrets where it doesn't pertain to you at that point in your life, so you're not really worried about it. I wish there was more time devoted to studies, or I paid more attention, or I reached out and talked to more people, or did intern programs or something like that during that phase. But I was young, I was stupid, I was immature. So JD figured it out. I was like, okay, and especially, being at a lower class school and having a harder road to get to that next level, probably played a little bit of a part in you deciding early on, like, hey, I've got to study.
Absolutely. Because, be honest, the NFL or even playing pro ball at any level wasn't really a thing for me until, my redshirt junior year. When I was like, hey, went All-American.
Yep.
Looking at stats, looking at numbers, looking at people that are getting drafted, looking at my numbers. I knew what I needed to improve on size-wise. I wasn't already a hard worker. I knew I could put the weight on. It was just more like believing and knowing that, hey, this is a possibility if I want to take this route.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
no combine. Did you no combine?
Nope. So I was not invited.
So that's
to
where
the
good. So current event-ish. The combines just went on. Was there a pro day?
So yes.
Yeah.
So the route is a lot different for a lot of people to make it to the next level. Some people are blessed enough where their combine invitation by their last game of their senior year, and then other routes where it's you kind of have to chase it and you kind of have to understand the system. Very similar to even high school athletes understanding the clearinghouse, understanding the sliding scale, ACT, SCT. Like once you understand that, it makes sense. You know what you need to achieve to be able to play Division I, Division II, Division III. But without understanding that, you're just shooting in the dark. And the same kind of thing with pro days. Funny thing is, you can do a pro day in the state that you're from, and the state that you go to school in. So a guy like me, where I'm under the radar, small school, guys are probably wondering what I move like, look like, play like. I can do 2 pro days.
Give yourself as much exposure as you can.
Right. Whereas a bigger school guy might just do that 1 pro day at his one school, might do some combine stuff, might do some drill stuff, might not do any. With me, I was able to do both. But the same thing with that is 4 40 times as opposed to 2. So
what's a 40 time?
4 5 2 all 4 times.
Consistently.
4 times. Which
is that Dion 4-2.
I wasn't sure where I was gonna land because I worked super hard.
I saw a lineman just go 4-5-2.
Yeah, 4-8, right? Was it 4-8-2?
No, D lineman I think did go 4-5 something.
I think it was 4-5-2.
He doesn't look like a D lineman.
He's 6'6", 290.
Yeah. But yeah, I trained really, really hard for my pro day, so I came super prepared and super locked in. But the element of surprise was still there, and at the same time too, when you get under that microscope and that heat, you either sink or swim. I knew I was a swimmer, but how fast was I going to swim? You know what I mean? How strong was my strokes going to be? You know what I mean? So it was an element of surprise for sure. But
what about bench? 225? How many times?
How about this? I'll let you guess.
Oh, Jesus.
13.
Ooh, good number. What you got for me?
Oh, 13. I would have went higher.
Really?
Yeah, 17.
Oof, 14.
14?
Average number is 11, if you guys are wondering.
For a DB?
For a DB.
Some of them probably can't even get off the rack.
Some can't. It's funny. My agent was like, hey, there's certain numbers that scouts are looking at, and it's not if you get a million past it, as long as you're 1 past it, you get a check mark. That's how it works. And there were certain numbers on certain drills that I knew I had to hit. And bench press was one of them.
3-cone drill? Is that one?
Three-cone drill was one, 5, 10, 5, and 40. Obviously, as a DB.
Oh, what about the
speed.
jumping one? Did you do the jump one?
Yes.
What do you get?
The vert.
What do you call that? The
Vert. Yep, vert.
Oh, I'm going to ask you next.
Vert, and then there's a broad jump too. Vert
Yep.
was 34, 35. Wasn't super.
Can you dunk?
In my younger ages,
Okay.
I was like grazing.
Could you do an alley-oop? Could you get an alley-oop and dunk?
Grazing.
Well, I could sky.
Grazing.
I could sky better than JD.
Grazing. Maybe, dude. Hey, listen.
I can dunk.
I,
Throw
not
it up.
anymore.
Not anymore. I'm gonna hit the
grazing.
net.
I was a rim grazer.
Okay. What did you do a vert?
Yeah, I think it was like 30 or 31.
Just a piece,
Which is good.
one
That's
piece of
very good.
paper underneath the feet.
No, I could put that.
You can get up.
I was
That's a
pretty,
lot. You can get
I
up
was
really
pretty
good,
happy
yeah.
with that.
That's really good.
What about your 40? What was your 40?
Oh God, slow. It's like 5'2".
Well, I was gonna say, what if we did a 40 right now? What could
Yeah,
you
I
do?
play in a box, JD. I'm not out there running and trying to run away from people. I'm going towards people and hitting them.
like 40 time for us right now.
Oh,
Say we didn't pull a hamstring. Is it 6 seconds? Can we break
I don't think I'd get 6 yet.
Can we do 5.5?
The clock moves fast.
It does.
My hamstrings.
Electric. Wait, are we going hand time or electric?
Hand time.
Hand.
Hand time. Absolutely. I mean,
The electric would have you at 7.
I'm not putting my hand down on an electric little strip there anymore.
How'd you start when you did it? Did you do like a track stance?
start. Yep. And I'm track background, so that was all
Okay.
day.
All right. Got it.
And really, where I had to improve was my first 10 yards
That's what they say.
because I was already a burner.
Yeah, stay low.
Yeah. Take off like a ship.
That's right.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you gotta
And that's-
plane out.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then just open up and let it fly
Okay. All right. So the combine,
and finish through the line.
and then you did the catching drills, and they were like, "This guy's got no hands. He's got to be a corner."
So first ball I dropped.
Well,
First ball I dropped,
would've
went right
guessed
through my
that.
hands and hit me right in the nose. My eyes were like getting watery. I'm like, shit. It was like a misty day. It was at
Yep.
Brown University. It was like a misty day. It was the Patriots guy, Smithy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know him, but Smitty, I think it was the name. He fired a rocket. It was like a duck a little bit. I'm like, dude, come on, bro. Like, we didn't have no quarterbacks, obviously, in
Yep.
that combine. So I was like subjected to the 5 scouts we had there. But first one dropped, caught the rest.
Next time you need somebody, give me a call.
I got you.
Come up there.
So how'd you end up? How'd you end up in Green Bay?
So combine ended. I believe I did my best. So however it played out, I was super comfortable with it. Agent reached out to the 5 to 8 different teams that were at the combines at the pro days that I was at, and had some interest from specifically the Jets, Dolphins, Packers, little bit from the Patriots, and we were just kind of. He was educating me on the process of this. He's like, you're probably not going to get drafted, even though that was my dream. Mm-hmm. He's like, but the great thing about you not being drafted is you'll get to pick. Mm-hmm. If you have options, you'll get to pick which team you go to. Mm-hmm.
Look at their roster. What's the best deal for me?
Better odds, like for you to make that team. Because at the end of the day, that's the goal.
Yep.
And when that time came, he told me after the draft, there'll be 20 minutes, and I'll either call you or I won't, and I'll know right away. So, funny story too, for the draft, each round, every DB picked before me, 10 push-ups.
Oh, nice. You did that to yourself.
To myself. Each round, each DB, forget the number, I did hella push-ups. Mm-hmm. And drafts ends, I had a off-campus house with one of my friends, and it was just me. It was like I forget what day, afternoon, it was like gloomy, and clock was ticking because I had that 20-minute on my head. It's like, all right, 18 minutes, no call. 20 minutes, no call. I'm like, fuck. I don't work so hard for this.
Yeah.
People are going to be asking, and I'm thinking about what I'm going to tell people, and you know what I mean? And I was by myself, which was even better. And I thank the Lord that I was in that situation. I wasn't around a bunch of people. And I'm just looking out the window, and my agent's name's Glenn Lansky. And he calls me. I'm like, he's either going to say, hey, JD, it was great knowing you. Mm-hmm. Sorry, blah, blah, blah. He calls me and he goes, hey, dude, what's up? And I'm like, I don't know. Hey, dude, what's up with you? like, what do you mean what's up with me? Like, you know what I'm doing.
I just did 1,000 push-ups.
Right.
I'm
Like, dude, I'm like sweating, like just waiting for you to tell me my fate in the next, my next endeavor. And he's like, I wasn't able to get you a contract, but we got 3 teams to pick from. And I'm like, let's go. it's 3. Like, what are we doing? Like, you know what I mean? I'm super pumped now, and super relieved, and I thank God for the opportunity. And we talked, like I mentioned, Dolphins, Jets, and Packers. The scenario with those teams, like how Dan was saying, the Jets had gotten Reeves and Cromartie that year. Dolphins had just got Brett Grimes, who had led the league in interceptions the year before.
That fucker was fast.
Yeah, small though.
Dude, he was fast.
Couldn't catch.
Well, he's a DB.
He had a crazy one-handed catch with the Dolphins.
He was the edge guy on field goal rush, and I was sort of the wing there out there. You couldn't get your hands on him. He was so low and so quick off the ball.
Oh, you were on field goal?
Field goal. Oh, yeah. Special teams all the time. No.
Have to.
Field goal. Yeah, field goal.
Just field goal?
Just field goal.
So was that your whole career? You were out there on field goal?
I was on field goal most of my career, not every year.
I never realized that. Because you're not snapping it.
No, can't do that.
Okay, interesting. All right. So he's
fast.
Field goal doesn't sound like a fun thing to do on the offense.
We had one of our coaches always said it was like 2 seconds of pure effort. Just hold them out for 2 seconds and then you can get the ball off.
Yeah.
But, one of the important.
Did you have any play incentive bonuses? Like the amount of plays that you had, you got paid more that you were on the field? Because that's a good way to pick up some plays.
No, I think in my I would have had playing time incentives. I did in my third contract before they fired me.
Yeah, do those count?
No, I mean that the majority of that was with my second deal, and I didn't have any incentives in there.
Second deal, it's a good deal.
Second deal is a good deal.
All right, little current event stuff. Okay, so we talked about free agent stuff going on right now. What's another big topic right now? Betting. Ridley.
My goodness.
Right? What's his first name? Calvin. Right?
Calvin.
Bet $1,500, he says, too, on the total of a week or something like that on football games. And he also, if he's gonna get in trouble for anything, it's the fact that he was doing 18 parlays. That's impossible to hit.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Making very poor bets. Yeah. So now I have a really strong take on this, and you've heard a little bit of it.
You should go first then.
And then I want to ask you, as you played. Football, most of the time, people are probably gambling on football more than anything. Maybe basketball, just because there's a lot of games. Baseball, I take that back. I think dollars-wise, the most goes towards football.
I think that's probably a fair statement.
That's a fair statement, right?
Yes.
Okay. Pete Rose, greatest hitter to ever live, besides Ted Williams. Not in the Hall of Fame for betting, right? People bet. Pete Rose never was proven to bet against his team. Actually, it was proven that he only bet on his team, right? I don't think that should be a problem. What are you talking about? So if he didn't bet on his team, say he bet for the Falcons to win when he was out.
Right.
He's like, screw this, we're winning this game. And he bet. You should be able to do that. You should not be able to bet on against your team that you're playing on so you can throw it. But if I'm betting on my team, I'm trying my ass off to go bury somebody.
Right.
They should let that happen.
You're insane.
Yeah, you're absolutely
insane.
Yeah,
why can that?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Why does that sway anything one way or the other? If you bet on yourself,
Dude,
boxers can bet on themselves.
It's an addiction. It never will stop. Now you'll start betting the over.
Now you're talking about one of the most corrupt sports.
Boxers
ever.
Can bet on themselves.
What happened to boxing?
You can't
boxing
bet against
is in the
yourself.
absolute shitter because it's corrupt as hell.
It is, but you can bet on yourself as a boxer. You can go to the casino and you can lay down money on yourself, and if you win, you can't bet against yourself. You can bet on yourself.
Yeah, but it's a one-on-one. I can sort of see why they. All right, I'm betting to win. I can sort of see why that's okay, but you're not in a team sport.
Okay,
you're not it.
You're not going to make a good case on this. I'm watching Suits right now. So think about this, golfers, right? You're telling me you can't go bet on yourself in a golf tournament? That's crazy to me. You should be able to bet on yourself. You don't think there's a million side matches going on out there anyway?
I hope there is.
There is.
I 1,000 I hope there is. Yeah, and I that's side bets.
Okay.
You're
Well,
betting
still
on yourself again. It's an individual sport. Now you go into a team sport where the integrity of the sport
Yep.
is what you're talking about, and gambling will creep in there.
I get it, but what I'm saying is this is a positive integrity if you're betting on yourself to win.
Doesn't matter. It's like the rule. Here's the rules.
I get
Whether
the
you
rules.
want to play or not,
Yep.
you can't bet in the NFL on an NFL game. I don't even know if you can bet on a college game.
Can you? Do you
I'm
know
not too
that?
Sure.
I'm not even sure about that, but
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy bet $1,500. Let's look at it this way.
He was bored.
Who
all
gives
it
a
was.
shit? He was still on a roster.
Oh, yeah,
and he
no, I
still
get it.
signed
I'm
a
not
contract.
saying it was a good move. I'm
Maybe he's
just
not
saying-
making his weekly salary or something like that. At a point when he was away for mental health issues. If you're away from mental health issues and can't watch an NFL game, why are you betting?
Well, I have a
To
couple.
win $1,500? Okay, now $1,500 versus a $10-15 million salary the next year. Is that worth it?
No, absolutely not.
No. So go bet on golf. Go bet on baseball. Just don't bet on the NFL.
I get
It's
it.
very clean, like plainly put out to them probably. And I'm sure,
I'm sure it is.
as gambling goes on and it's getting bigger and states are legalizing it,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, guys, by the way, you can't do this. I'm sure it's
I know it
re-emphasized.
must be way more than when we were playing. Because I mean, they brought it up some when we were playing, but it was known like the whole Pete Rose thing. But we didn't have the access
I'm not
that
saying-
we had. The
look-
access is crazy now. Like it's legal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just not for them. But
I
guess what? You're
understand
making
why.
millions of dollars, so who cares?
I know. I just think that you should be able to bet on yourself in anything.
Well, hey, the rules in the NFL, I get the betting rule. I agree with the betting rule. I actually think he should be suspended. I have no problem with that. But when you take in other things, offenses that have happened, and they get a less sentence, it doesn't look good for the NFL. Like Jones Drew or something. It was more. No, it was running back Rodgers, Ray Rice. All, you know, other guys are like domestic violence or assault charges or something like that are getting less games. What message is that sending?
That's not good message.
You know what I mean? I'd rather have a guy bet $1,500, but he's still breaking the rules.
Agree.
So either you enforce harder on some other things to make it more evenly
Yep.
punished, more even.
Okay.
I don't know.
How'd they catch him? Do we know?
No, because I'm pretty sure the NFL is tied in with their.
DraftKings, all the stuff. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume
I
they-
thought I read that he was using his own name on an app,
Right.
As opposed to like all your friends you have. Like you
Yeah.
can, and I think he was using, and then somehow it got traced. I'm not too sure. I didn't read 100% into it.
I
But
just think this guy's dumb.
yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with Dan.
that hurts.
100%.
Dumb.
Yeah, that's a big
Dumb.
story. I
If you
can't
wanna-
believe how
wait.
big that story hit yesterday. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
Then you take a look at like JD, like other guys that are trying to get to the league, and he's taking up a spot
I
for
hear
being
you.
a complete moron.
I hear you.
Look, can you play in the NFL for 10 years and hold off betting? Like, and you like to bet.
I would stop for life.
No problem. I'm done.
Stop for life.
You know, it's just the guy's a complete moron.
The integrity is everything, like how he was saying too. I'm sure he has also friends, former teammates, a brother who are on those other teams that he's
Yeah.
probably betting against, sending that text like, "Hey, dude,
Yeah,
I got a stack
inside knowledge. What do you got here or whatever? Like, I'm not saying he did that. He probably didn't do that. He
Hey,
probably
the itch is
did it.
the itch. The itch is the itch."
18 parlay.
It's just stupid.
I'm more
And he said he didn't even
disappointed about
watch
that.
the game. So what
Yeah.
the hell's the point? Go sit down for
You have to
another year.
rush, watch the game. It's okay. All right. So, the stock market works kind of the same way, by the way.
Yeah,
You can
well,
bet on yourself in the stock market. You
Yeah.
cannot bet against. Well, I mean,
You just can't leak any information.
I guess you can bet against yourself, but no, you can't. No, you couldn't take out. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but
They're going to catch you if you do that.
yeah, that's true. Okay, so there's that. What else? Do you have anything else for JD? I mean, we covered a bunch.
That was good. I mean,
We covered
hey.
a bunch. I mean, I did have a.
Aaron Rodgers plus, right? That's an A.
Oh, yeah.
That's
A.
that's
Yeah.
good for Green Bay. Russell Wilson, he's an improvement. They wanted
sure.
they wanted Aaron Rodgers.
For sure.
Russell Wilson is not Aaron Rodgers.
No, but he could win. You could win with him.
I get what you're saying. I agree 100%. He's a winner. He's a leader. He can throw the ball. I just don't know about it. Do you give up everything for that guy?
Does 12 come back?
Ooh. No, he retired.
Tip's still holding out hope.
I'm holding out. I think that I'm right. I think he's coming back. There's a lot of reports circling right now. Miami.
No.
I thought Miami was the report that they shunned him early on.
No.
Yeah, maybe
They
he wants
wanted
to go there
Peyton
and prove a point.
Peyton and Brady or something. Was that the report?
I'm not too sure.
Well, we'll see. My last thing, I have been baking these into the interviews lately, Max. So I did hear somebody said "win in Rome" to me this weekend. And I was like, "What's win?" I get that. I understand what "win in Rome" means, but like, where does that come from? And it's, do you know what it is?
I want to say back in Roman times.
Yeah, they said like, "When in Rome, do as Romans do," like act accordingly.
Yeah, I think that one's self-explanatory.
I know, but
Enlighten
that's
us.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what it means. It means to go with the flow.
No, thanks for the lesson.
Yeah, just win in Rome. I just wondered. I googled. I had to Google it just to make sure. So that came up. Max, anything from you? You went to school with JD, by the way.
I played high school football against JD.
Who won?
JD. Actually, I think we won,
team
but
won.
I
His
did
team
not
won.
start.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who did Max play for? Who'd you play for?
LaSalle.
Sal.
Yeah, Max went to a good high
yeah,
school.
Max did,
Good
yeah.
football high school.
Yeah. Good football high school.
Did you
Not
see
good
Max?
enough for- I'm not good enough to play.
Did you
football
see
star.
Max over there? Max, I know exactly where you saw Max. Timeout. He ran out. He had the water bottle thing spraying in
No,
the
no, no,
helmet.
no. It was fourth quarter with 2 minutes
He was riding in on the
left.
horse pregame.
Does LaSalle have a horse mascot that's came in your uniform on the horse? All right, so good. But then you went to Sacred Heart.
No, I went to Fairfield.
Oh, yeah,
So
you did go to Fairfield.
We ended up hanging out there. And
Well, sorry, Max.
Oh, I wouldn't. So JD also, he's a grinder. He's a worker, and that's why you hired him. And
Well,
I'd
I was
say
about
that
to get
JD came in the office when he first got hired. I'm looking at him like, God, I think I know this guy. So JD would work with young
I heard you before JD.
kids
Yeah, okay.
on Sundays, and my kid ended up going to one of his workouts, and I'll just
Yep.
say it was awesome for him. He was.
Sweat.
I think he was. Oh, he worked them.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it. JD worked the kids. They were running. They were tired. They were sweating. But he was on them too in a good way. He was holding them accountable, making them do things that they probably wouldn't have wanted to do, but very encouraging. So is coaching going to be in the future?
Coaching is always part of what I do, and a lot of times I do it for these kids that want it. And, kind of similar to, Dan bringing Cam is I want to help kids that want to work hard. I have years of experience, years of people doubting me that I understand where these kids come from Rhode Island. And I build that into the workouts. I let them know, while you're over here doing this, your friends are at home playing Fortnite. Coaches don't expect you to be out here doing this. You know what I mean? This is what separates, people that want to be good, people that want to be great. It's the extra work that you put in. So even now, I do all sports, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, with kids that just want to work hard, in anything, athleticism, lifting weights, plyometrics, calisthenics, anything like that. So it's always part of what I do. Whether it's coaching football per se, I'm not too sure. I really love what I'm doing right now. But I truly, truly love that is, helping kids that want to be helped. And then, just like Dan saying, like their parents that seeing the effort that I put in behind it and their
Yeah,
appreciation
it was good.
too.
That was cool. That was a good day. I didn't know what I was going into. I just heard about it one time, showed up, and it was JD, and I didn't know JD at the time. And
Like, who's this guy that can't catch?
yeah, I know. They don't even have footballs out here. They're not even using football. They're just running them.
just ladders.
Just
Okay.
ladders, hurdles, all that kind of stuff.
I will say that I got a raving review for you from Coach Willie. I don't know Coach Willie that well. I know him a little bit just from, being around this area and, knowing the Moses Brown team because of Gary, our CEO. He sent over a thing and he's like, do yourself a favor and hire this person. That's what he said. So we got to actually make sure he hears this so that we can get him to follow the Instagram too. But that's what he said about you. He said, hey, if I'm going to vouch for anybody, I'm vouching for this guy. He needs a shot. Like, take a look, see what you think. That's why that was a fast interview.
Amen. And
Am I going to make you cry? Am I going to get him to go, Max?
It's funny because
I'm working on it.
I prayed for, to work for a company where I can tie in a team aspect to, just working in the real world, because it was tough. I mean, I know, you didn't really look at the resume before, but I sold paint before this. And And I can't say that was a fun, rewarding career, but, you know, it was a filler to find something that I really wanted to do, where I really fit in. And I thank the Lord that this was it. And it was, like Tip said, it was such a quick interview that I was like, wait, did I get this? Did I not? He kind of kept a great poker face, by the way, because I wasn't sure. I like texting Max.
Nobody's
like, hey,
better.
does this guy like me? Does he not?
Please don't compliment him.
Nobody's better in the room than me, JD.
I was like,
I'm
hey,
a
did I
negotiator.
get this? Did I not? Because he sounded like he wanted me, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, no one's better in the room than me. I got to keep the I'm watching Suits again. I'll plug Suits. I'm on season 5. It took me. There's 9 seasons, 16 episodes a season. I'm flying. It started like 4 days ago. I'm flying through this show. Harvey Specter, what a guy, negotiator, closer extraordinaire. But that's, you know, we had the interview, and I was like, all right, I got a glowing review. I want to give somebody a shot. I want them to prove me. I want them to prove me right. Is that right? Or I want them to prove themselves. I can't remember.
Just give him a chance.
Just give me a chance.
Give them a chance, and then like I want somebody that I don't have to like pay. Like I want to coach them a little bit, but at the same time, like I don't have to worry about them working hard. Like that's what. If I have to worry about somebody working hard, get out. Like if you work hard, we'll fix the rest. And that's why you got the job. Amen. And you negotiated me hard too.
Amen.
You weren't gonna go like, I don't know about this. I'm making this, that. I'm like, okay, yeah, fine. Go sell paint. Have fun.
I trusted you though, and
I know.
You know, not too long ago
got there.
We got a conversation. I said, I thank the Lord for trusting you. You know,
That's right.
And I didn't even know you.
Hey,
I know you now though.
I'm calling you Jean-Daniel from now on.
Jean-Daniel.
No more JD. You're Jean-Daniel.
That's fine with me.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
First
Thank
in-house
you guys.
guest, Max.
Woohoo!
Wait,
Thank you. Guys.
there you go.
Wow.
Hello.
Sorry.
What do we have? We don't have Bing Bong anymore, do we?
No.
Oh, we had a Bing Bong?
We had Jeopardy last week, so I took
that's
over the
true.
soundboard.
Oh,
But we do have.
Sometimes we mumble. Yeah, and we're going to have
one is
woohoo
fun.
next week.
Yeah, woohoo.
All right. Again.
Oops, sometimes we mumble. We mumble a lot.
All right. Thanks, JD.
All right, brother.
Later, brother.
Past Our Prime is brought to you by Squad Locker. Squad Locker is your one-stop shop for custom team apparel, delivered right to your front door. Learn more by visiting squadlocker.com.